Mount Roraima isn't just another mountain, hidden above the clouds. Scientists call it a lost world, a place isolated from the rest of Earth for millions of years. The rocks beneath your feet are nearly 2 billion years old, making Roraima one of the oldest geological formations on the planet. Its isolated ecosystem gave rise to species found nowhere else on Earth, including carnivorous plants that thrive in nutrient-poor soils.
This mysterious plateau inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's legendary novel, The Lost World,
And even the famous Roraima toad adapted so uniquely that it survives on these cliffs in ways unlike most amphibians. So what exactly makes Mount Roraima one of the most extraordinary places on Earth? Let's explore.
Deep in the Amazon rainforest, the dense green canopy abruptly stops. In its place rises a sheer wall of black rock, slicing into the sky. This is Mount Roraima. It is a massive, flat-topped plateau stretching 14 kilometers across, suspended nearly 9,000 feet above the jungle floor. This sandstone structure is 2 billion years old. It formed long before the Atlantic Ocean existed, predating the first dinosaurs by hundreds of millions of years. For practically its entire existence, those vertical cliffs have isolated the summit from the ground below. It operates as a biological vault, locked away in the clouds. This separation leads to a specific investigative question. What is trapped up there? For centuries, the Indigenous Pemón people gave the mountain a wide berth. They called it the House of the Gods, believing the towering cliffs were inhabited by spirits that could steal a human soul. When Victorian explorers reached the mountain's base, their journals were filled with accounts that seemed to defy physical reality. They reported 60-foot anacondas, giant ape men stalking the tree line, and primeval beasts lurking in shadows. Those expedition logs made their way back to London, where they caught the attention of Arthur Conan Doyle. He used these specific accounts of Roraima to write a novel about a secluded plateau where dinosaurs still roamed, The Lost World. We know now that the dinosaurs were fiction, but the persistent rumors gave modern explorers a powerful motive. They needed to navigate the cliffs and document what was actually living on top. In 1884, Everard M. Thurn and Harry Perkins set out to do what everyone assumed was impossible: scale those vertical cliffs. They spent months hacking through venomous jungle just to reach the base. Eventually, they located a narrow natural ramp on the rock face, forcing their way up through torrential waterfalls and dense vegetation. When they finally broke through the cloud layer and stepped onto the summit, they encountered a landscape governed by geological and biological processes unlike any found in the rainforest below. They were standing on a pseudo-karst terrain, a bleak expanse of heavily eroded black rock littered with massive quartz crystals, all submerged beneath a permanent blanket of fog. Thurn and Perkins didn't find Jurassic movie monsters, but the bizarre ecosystem they documented defied conventional evolutionary biology, revealing a world that had developed in total disconnection from the rest of the planet. This cross-section shows the intense evolutionary pressure on the summit. Over millions of years, relentless rainfall has washed through the porous sandstone, stripping the rock of nitrogen and leaving behind a highly acidic, nutrient-dead environment. To survive without soil nutrients, the local flora had to adapt. Drosera chiatorensis overcome this dead environment by turning into a predator. It uses bright red, sticky, hair-like tentacles to lure in insects, slowly dissolving them to absorb their minerals. The animal life is equally specialized. Because the plateau consists mostly of bare rock and shallow puddles, the endemic Roraima toad has lost the biological ability to swim, an adaptation its ancestors required for survival in the water below. The mammals here took similar extreme detours. A specific breed of mouse evolved specialized climbing abilities, allowing it to navigate the sheer vertical cliff faces instead of running across a forest floor. Today, biologists estimate that 35% of the life on this summit is endemic. These species have evolved in such extreme isolation that their closest relatives are found only on other tepuis hundreds of miles away. Modern science spent decades cataloging this surface biology. But recently, researchers realized that the plateau we see is only the outer shell of the mountain. Geologists probing the interior discovered a sprawling 15-kilometer-long network of quartz caves hidden deep inside the sandstone structure. Dropping into that pitch blackness reveals a secondary level of isolation. These subterranean environments contain unique microorganisms and blind biology completely cut off from the surface world. Mount Roraima operates as a geographical nesting doll. Documenting the surface merely revealed a gateway to a deeper, even older system of biological isolation buried within the rock. We live in an era where satellites have mapped every inch of the globe. Yet the summit's terrain is so complex that much of the plateau remains physically unvisited and scientifically uncatalogued. Its true value lies in that isolation. It is a 2-billion-year-old living laboratory, preserving paths of evolution we are only just beginning to understand. The species trapped on and inside this rock have been developing specialized biological traits independently since before the continent split apart. We do not need fiction to find a lost world on Earth. We just need to know exactly where to look.